So last time in the anime, our guys arrived at the mysterious tower where Amo lived. They were searching for information on the way to Sphere. But before all that, Amo wanted to talk a lot about romance. Engine wasn't particularly good with all this kind of stuff, so he ended up making her angry. And out of nowhere Delman attacked him from the back. This made the situation worse because no one knew who might end up on her side. Amo revealed she was using her giver powers that spreads a scent in the air, making people believe she was the most treasured person from their past that they always wanted to protect. And due to that effect, except for Tamsi and Zanka, everyone fell under her spell. Now Tamsi didn't like it, but he got ready to use his vital instrument. So now, as the story continues, we see Delman had always tended to his garden to grow plants in this dumpster, and his efforts finally paid off one day. His wife was delighted in watching her smile. Delman wished to fill the whole area with flowers. So the person he saw was his dead wife and Amo. That was kind of a nasty move because it played with people's feelings. But the girl also had a screw loose, so I don't think she would feel guilty whatsoever. But anyways, Tamsi activated his instrument, and just as they jumped in to attack, it entangled everyone in his strings. Amo lost her trump cards just like that, and they all tried to get out of this. But the more they moved, the tighter the strings held them. Yet they had gone insane, and even pain wasn't bringing their sanity back. Amo was sure they would find a way to escape and help her, but the instrument Tamsi had was meant for binding threads together. So he gave it one more spin and brought everyone together in one space. Now this way they couldn't move an inch, while he could easily interrogate the screw-loose girl. Being held down like this, Zanka felt like he didn't do much. But figuring out her ability by making her agitated was his work, so Tamsi called it a job well done. In that time, Gree went to check up on Engine, and Tom had already begun the first aid on him. He was fine but still out of commission. So now Amo went nuts because no one had ever hurt her and humiliated her like this. Her foul cries called for help, and hearing that the other puppets were going insane enough to break their own bones just to get out of those threads. So watching that, Tamsi decided to grant them their wish nice and easy. If they wanted to be released so badly, Tamsi gave up and released them at full force that it brought them all down to the ground floor with a huge bang. Zanka took a look and said he went too overboard with this. Now everyone was nearly at death's door because of Tamsi, yet he claimed he handled everything. Amo was content because they were hurting their own, and this raised the possibility of Tamsi being under her control. If so, then they were done for. But it wasn't like that. He was totally fine, and Zanka had forgotten about that. Before coming here, they had got one hit endurance spell from Remlin. So that's what he used to bring everyone back. Engine also woke up and stole her shoe. Amo tried to get it back because it had her lover's scent. So Engine tried to check, which he shouldn't have. Anyways, Engine was fine all this time. He was just waiting for the right opening to get up, and he asked her to release them. Amo said her powers didn't work with just one shoe, so it was already over. Everyone woke up one by one, and Delman asked what happened. Tamsi didn't hide anything about what he and others did, and which trick Amo used to manipulate them. It was a freakish ability because a person they cared so much about felt like they came back to life, and in the next moment they had to face reality, which broke them apart completely. But now that everyone was fine, Engine gave her the shoe. But they couldn't just leave her alone like this. She was way too dangerous for that. But Engine saw just an ordinary girl with a few mental issues, so he thought of convincing her not to hurt anyone. But I don't think she would listen now that her house was destroyed. Before they could say anything, Ruto took off his mask, and Amo thought he wanted to be on her side. But Ruto started to go berserk on the girl. Meanwhile, Semiu was worried about our gang, but Boss was relaxed since the lineup they sent was good. But Boss knew she saw something in Ruto that she hasn't told anyone yet. So she opened up that there was something inside of Ruto that was growing. Like a curse or something that could one day destroy this whole world. And this anger was one effect of that curse. Others barely managed to stop him, and now Amo was completely out. For once I think it was too much. I mean, the girl was mentally unstable. Yet Ruto didn't give a fuck about that. He didn't want to sit around and watch some random girl messing with his friend. Girls tried to reason with Tudo that the girl was powerless now that they knew her ability. But Ruto didn't care because she nearly killed them all. Well, whatever he said was true, but Engine asked him what to do now. This outburst broke their only way of getting info on the sphere. Now this finally put Ruto's mind back on the correct track, and that was Enjin's cue to give him a good little pep talk with some life lessons. So they came out, and it was good that Ruto felt he was in the wrong. Still, Enjin pointed out his mistakes, so Ruto let him know about his past. Back in Sphere he had learned how to control his anger, but when they threw him into the ground, the way he learned to control himself broke. Now he felt so much anger that he felt like going numb and just hitting anyone who pissed him off. So Enjin admitted he likes hot girls who are smarter and have a sexy figure and a forgiving personality. But somewhere he also knew he couldn't fulfill their needs, and he couldn't hide it even if he wanted to. So it wasn't just Ruto, everyone goes tough times where they feel helpless. But the only way to overcome that is realizing the shortcomings. Meanwhile, Tom did first aid on Amo and took off her mask to let her talk about romance all she wanted. Watching her, Amo was reminded of her mother, because she was the reason Amo met her first love and saw people who move between the ground and Sphere. Now this is the info they wanted. But right here our today's episode ends, so subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon without forgetting, so that you won't miss any of the future updates. Till then, take care.